thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing a reading of 50 spooky facts about Halloween. Some of them are a little more common and some of them are a little more obscure, so I hope you learn something interesting. I don't have an innate knowledge of Halloween facts, so I did Google these, and I'll leave a link below to where I found them, so give proper credit. To begin, fact 1. Because the movie Halloween 1978 was on such a tight budget, they had to use the cheapest mask that they could find for the character Michael Myers, which turned out to be a William Shatner Star Trek mask. Shatner initially didn't know the mask was in his likeness. When he found out years later, he said he was honored. Fact 2. The first jack-o'-lanterns were actually made from turnips. 3. Halloween is the second highest grossing commercial holiday after Christmas. 4. The word witch comes from the Old English wic, meaning wise woman. In fact, Wiccan were highly respected people at one time. According to popular belief, witches held one of their 2 meetings, or sabbats, on Halloween night. 5. Samhanophobia is the fear of Halloween. 6. 50% of kids prefer to receive chocolate candy for Halloween, compared with 24 who prefer non-chocolate candy and 10 who prefer gum. 7. The owl is a popular Halloween image. In medieval Europe, owls were thought to be witches, and to hear an owl's call meant someone was about to die. 8. According to Irish legend, jack-o'-lanterns are named after a stingy man named Jack, who, because he tricked the devil several times, was forbidden entrance into both heaven and hell. He was condemned to wander the earth, waving his lantern to lead people away from their paths. 9. The largest pumpkin ever measured was grown by Norm Craven, who broke the world record in 1993 with an 836-pound pumpkin. 10. Stephen Clark holds the record for the world's fastest pumpkin carving time, 24.03 seconds, smashing his previous record of 54.72 seconds. The rules of the competition state that the pumpkin must weigh less than 24 pounds, be carved in a traditional way, which requires at least eyes, nose, ears, and a mouth. 11. Trick-or-treating evolved from the ancient Celtic tradition of putting out treats and food to placate spirits who roam the streets at, and I looked this up and I think I'm saying this out right, roam the streets at Samhain, a sacred festival that marked the end of the Celtic calendar year. If you want to look it up, it's spelled Samhain. 12. Souling is a medieval Christian precursor to modern-day trick-or-treating. On Hallowmas, November 1st, the poor would go door to door, offering prayers for the dead in exchange for soul cakes. 13. The first known mention of trick-or-treating in print in North America occurred in 1927 in Blackie, Alberta, Canada. 14. Was there linked to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, a precursor to Halloween, and later to witches. Cats have a permanent place in Halloween folklore. During the ancient celebration of Samhain, Druids were said to throw cats into a fire, often in wicker cages as part of divination proceedings. Please don't do that. That's not good. 15. Halloween is short for Hallows Eve or Hallows Evening, which was the evening before All Hallows Day or Hallowmas on November 1st. In an effort to convert pagans, the Christian Church decided that Hallowmas or All Saints' Day, November 1st, and All Souls' Day, November 2nd, should assimilate sacred pagan holidays that fell on or around October 31st. 16. Black and orange are typically associated with Halloween. Orange is the symbol of strength and endurance, and, along with brown and gold, stands for the harvest in autumn. Black is typically a symbol of death and darkness and acts as a reminder that Halloween once was a festival that marked the boundaries between life and death. 17. Ireland is typically believed to be the birthplace of Halloween. Scarecrows, a popular Halloween fixture, symbolize the ancient agricultural roots of the holiday. 19. Halloween has variously been called All Hallows Eve, Witches' Night, Lamb's Wool, which is also a plant, Snap-Apple Night, Samhain, and Summer's End. 20. Halloween was influenced by the ancient Roman festival Pomona, which celebrated the harvest goddess of the same name. Many Halloween customs and games that feature apples, such as balloting for apples, and nuts date back to this time. In fact, in the past, Halloween has been called Sad Apple Night and Nutcracker Night. 21. Because Protestant England did not believe in Catholic saints, the rituals traditionally associated with Hallowmas, or Halloween, became associated with Guy Fawkes Night. England declared November 5th Guy Fawkes Night to commemorate the capture and execution of Guy Fawkes, who co-conspirated to blow up the Parliament in 1905 in order to restore a Catholic king. 22. Harry Houdini, born in 1874, died in 1926, was one of the most famous and mysterious magicians who ever lived. Strangely enough, he died in 1926 on Halloween night as a result of appendicitis brought on by 3 stomach punches. That would be very unpleasant. Fact 23. Scottish girls believe they could see images of their future husband if they hung wet sheets in front of the fire on Halloween. Other girls believe that they would see their boyfriends' faces if they looked into mirrors while walking downstairs at midnight on Halloween. Fact 24. According to tradition, if a person wears his or her clothes inside out and then walks backwards on Halloween, he or she will see a witch at midnight. That is very specific. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because it's so specific. I was going to do that accidentally. I don't know. Fact 25. Mexico celebrates the Days of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, on the Christian holidays All Saints' Day, November 1st, and All Souls' Day, November 2nd, instead of Halloween. The townspeople dress up and parade down the street. Fact 26. During the pre-Halloween celebration of Samhain, bonfires were lit to ensure the sun would return after the long, hard winter. Often Druid priests would throw the bones of cattle into the flames, and hence, bonfire became bonfire. That's pretty cool. Fact 27. Dressing up as ghouls and other spooks originated from the ancient Celtic tradition of townspeople disguising themselves as demons and priests. The Celts believed that disguising themselves this way would allow them to escape the notice of the real spirits wandering the streets during Samhain. 28. The National Retail Federation expects consumers in 2010 to spend $66.28 per person, which would be a total of approximately $5.8 billion on Halloween costumes, cards, and candy. That's up from $56.31 in 2009 and brings spending back to 2008 levels. I wonder what it is now. Fact 29. In 1970, a 5-year-old boy, Kevin Toston, allegedly ate Halloween candy laced with heroin. Investigators later discovered the heroin belonged to the boy's uncle and was not intended for a Halloween candy. Oh. Was he okay? Fact 30. In 1974, 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien died of cyanide poisoning after eating Halloween candy. Investigators later learned that his father had taken out a $20,000 life insurance policy on each of his children, that he had poisoned his own son and attempted to poison his daughter. That is awful. That is awful. Okay, fact 31. Hopefully the facts get a little happier. Facts 31. According to the National Retail Federation, 40.1% of those surveyed planned to wear a Halloween costume in 2010. I am in that percentage. In 2009, it was 33.4%. 33% will throw or attend a party. Fact 32. In 2010, 72.2% of those surveyed by the National Retail Federation will hand out candy. 46.3% will carve a pumpkin. 20.8% will visit a haunted house. And 11.5% will dress up their pets. I'm gonna do all of it. Fact 33. Halloween is thought to have originated around 4000 BC, which means Halloween has been around for over 6,000 years. Fact 34, and I might mispronounce this, so I apologize. Tangche, or the Lantern Festival, is one Halloween festival in China. Lanterns shaped like dragons and other animals are hung around houses and streets to help guide the spirits back to their earthly homes. To honor their deceased loved ones, family members leave food and water by the portraits of their ancestors. That's cool because it's actually kind of similar to Dia de los Muertos, except for in Dia de los Muertos, they don't hang up lanterns, they put out marigolds. Some people do. So there's an extra fact for you. My own. Anyway, fact 35. Halloween celebrations in Hong Kong are known as Yulan, or the Festival of the Hungry Ghosts, during which fires are lit and food and gifts are offered to placate potentially angry ghosts who might be looking for revenge. Fact 36. In many countries, such as France and Australia, Halloween is seen as an unwanted and overly commercial American influence. I didn't know that. If you're from such places, please let me know if that's actually a thing. Because I think Halloween is great, but I am American, so maybe I'm just like ridiculously biased. Fact 37. Children are more than twice as likely to be killed in a pedestrian/car accident on Halloween than any other night. Fact 38. Both Salem, Massachusetts and Anoka, Minnesota are the self-proclaimed Halloween capitals of the world. Fact 39. Boston, Massachusetts holds the records for the most jack-o'-lanterns lit at once, being 30,128. Fact 40. Comedian John Evans once quipped, "What do you get if you divide the circumference of a jack-o'-lantern by its diameter?" Pumpkin pie. You know, like the mathematical pie. Yeah. Anyway, 41. The Village Halloween Parade in New York City is the largest Halloween parade in the United States. The parade includes 50,000 participants and draws over 2 million spectators. Okay. Fact 42. There is a $1,000 fine for using or selling silly string in Hollywood on Halloween. The prank product has been banned in Hollywood since 2004 after thousands of bored people would buy it on the streets of Halloween from illegal vendors and vandalize the streets. The state ordinance calls for a maximum $1,000 fine and or 6 months in jail for use, possession, sale, or distribution of silly string in Hollywood from 12:01 a.m. on October 31st to 12 p.m. on November 1st. Like 6 months in jail is pretty extreme, I guess. I mean, silly string is flammable, so maybe that's part of the reason. 43. Halloween symbols aren't random. Black cats, spiders, and bats are all Halloween symbols because of their spooky history and ties to Wiccans. All three were thought to be the familiars of witches in the Middle Ages, and are often considered or associated with bad luck. Bats are even further connected to Halloween by the ancient Awan ritual of building a bonfire, which drove away insects and attracted bats. 44. Tootsie Rolls were the first wrapped penny candy in America. 45. Halloween in the candy industry supposedly influenced daylight savings time. Candy makers supposedly lobbied to extend daylight savings time into the beginning of November to get an extra hour of daylight so that children could collect even more candy, thus forcing people to purchase more candy to meet the demand. They wanted it so badly that during the 1985 hearings on daylight savings, they put candy pumpkins on the seat of every senator, according to NPR. The candy industry disputes this account, though, according to the New York Times. 46. Candy corn was originally known as chicken feed. Invented by George Renninger, a candy maker at the Wonderland Candy Company of Philadelphia in the 1880s, candy corn was originally called buttercream candies and chicken feed, since back then corn was commonly used as a food for livestock. They even had a rooster on the candy boxes. 47. A full moon on Halloween is extremely rare. Though a common trope in horror movies and in Halloween decorations where witches fly across the full moon, the next full moon on Halloween won't occur until 2020, so pretty soon. The most recent Halloween full moon, though, was back in 2001. Before that, it was in 1955. 48. Halloween is still the Wiccan New Year. Halloween originates from a Celtic tradition called Awan, a festival that marked the end of the Celtic calendar year in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. They believed it was a time that spirits and fairies would enter our world. The Celts would put out treats and food to placate the spirits. Sometimes, a place at the table was even set for the souls of the dead. Fact 49. Trick-or-treating was brought to America by the Irish and became popular during the early 20th century, but died out during World War II when sugar was rationed. After the rationing ended in 1947, children's magazine Jack and Jill, radio program The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, and the Peanuts comic strip all helped repopularize the tradition of dressing up in costumes and asking for candy from door to door. And last but not least, fact 50. Candy corn has been made with the same recipe by the Jelly Belly Candy Company since around 1900. So that was all 50 fun Halloween facts. I hope you enjoyed them and learned something a little new.